So, Rob Delaney and Sharon Horgan, or shall I say Emmy nominees, Rob Delaney and Sharon Horgan.
I'd like you to say that. Yeah.
You may say that.
I wanted to ask you guys because it was a real surprise that you got this nomination for writing. Did you have any indication that you were going to be in the running at all?
No, I think
No
we
way.
both sort of stopped. I mean, I guess in our wildest dreams we had a little look and to see if, and then the sitcom category came up, we weren't in there, and the male actor, female actor weren't in there, and then we sort of stopped looking, and then I think I got a message from someone. I was like, what? And then saw it in the writing, and then I texted you, and you were like, what? No, it was an amazing, lovely surprise.
Because that's the best award.
That's what we
Because
decided.
like actor, all right, what'd you do? Showed up and said the words. Good for you, De Niro. But we wrote it and we thought it up, and so we were so giddy. Oh my God.
So in this season, you guys have a lot of new complications in your marriage and your careers. Are you ever going to have an uncomplicated life for these two people?
Jeepers. I mean, my own life is far from uncomplicated. So, and I think most folks are in a similar situation. So, also, it's on TV.
So you gotta.
I mean, I love those shows where nothing happens. They're brilliant, but I think I find them very hard to write. They're very sort of dialogue heavy, I like stuff to happen.
I don't even like music. Like a lot of pop music now is like, you can do it, you're so lovely, you're good, you. And I hate that. I like songs that are just like a skull, there's a skull in my throat, So definitely for comedies, I don't want to see happy people.
There's a skull in my throat.
Well, as the writers and creators and stars of this show, how do you go about plotting the season?
Jeepers. We sit down and start talking. We start with really sort of basic ideas that we haven't done before in the other seasons.
So basic.
And then we think about our peripheral characters, spend a lot of time thinking about them because they seem to, help provide story or ideas for Sharon and Rob. That happens a lot. We, sometimes just think of funny lines or funny things, and that all gets thrown in, and everything gets thrown into this document and folder, and then eventually those stories we start sort of turning them into outlines, and then once we have our outlines, we're pretty much set, aren't we? Then we're just sort of like filling in the gaps.
Yeah. But we think of the big, huge ideas, like, what do we want to say about the world? And then also, like, what if Sharon walked into a spider web? And, like, they'll be in the same document,
Yeah.
It's very nice of you guys to write good parts for the other actors. It's,
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to. I mean, we're definitely not precious about like, ooh, I better give myself a good word. Like, we're happy. I mean, if I'm barely in an episode, which I guess that doesn't ever happen because we are the main part of the thing.
Yeah.
But if there's like a super scene where Chris or Fran hits a big home run,
oh man,
I'm very happy.
Quite often we hand over the funnier lines. Like
Definitely.
quite often,
Definitely.
I'm in a scene going, well, why didn't I give myself that to say? Because that's a killer line. But no, we love writing for those actors, and the tricky thing is finding a way to make sure there's enough space for their stories to not just be there for the sake of our characters to bump off, like for them to give them something meaty enough to, they're really good actors, and we're lucky to have them on our show, so we want to give them something that's worth turning up for.
Yeah.
And in this season in particular, you're really dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. I mean, drinking problems and death and infidelity. How do you find the comedy in that?
It's really hard.
Well, sometimes at first we don't. And then we go back in and layer it in. Or we might do something that we're like, I don't think people would be that wacky and irreverent in that scene. Maybe we could take out 1/3 of the fart jokes from that hospital scene, So definitely our first drafts are often pretty bad.
Yeah.
But we always fall under the spell of writing a first draft and being like, hey, pretty good. And then we reread it and we're like, oh no, we have to throw it away or burn it.
It's always about just getting it down now. It took a long time to learn that, not to torture yourself into making every line, crystal, so now we don't worry about it. We get it down. We make sure the story's there, and then we decide later whether the story's working or not, and then we sort of get in and try and make it funny.
One of my favorite characters in the show, and one of everyone's favorite characters in the show was Carrie Fisher as your mother, who sadly passed away last year. I wanted to ask her, since she is in this season and won the final episode, what was the experience of working with her like?
It was lovely.
Super positive.
Just very fun.
And it got more fun progressively because, I mean, we didn't believe that she would show up on the first day. We were like, we've been tricked, and she's going to actually read the scripts, and she's not going to come. So when she did show up, I mean,
when she walked into the house, it was like a
scary for me.
Oh, it was scary. We all just followed her up the stairs. She went up the stairs to her room, and we all just followed her up.
And so then we gradually equalized and calmed down, and we're over the course of 2 full calendar years, and then by the end of it, she's a kind human being that was a pleasure to spend time with, in addition to being immeasurably brilliant.
Right. One last thing. I mean, you guys have worked with the same director on this show,
Ben Taylor.
Yes. What does he add to the dynamic that really helps you guys go to the next level?
Oh, he gets us out of our heads. We've spent so long in a room, in a tiny box room, writing, that he helps us sort of see it as the show and not just about, not to get too sort of caught up in things. Apart from visually, he's brilliant. I mean, he's made our comedy look as expensive as a drama. He does all of that, but I just find like sometimes you're so definite that what you've got in your head is the right way to do it, and the fact that he can sort of turn that around, and you go, oh my God, why didn't? Yeah, of course, that's how you play it.
He's pretty special in that we think we have it fully conceived in our heads, but I very much take a deep breath, walk onto set, and joyfully let him be the boss, because he knows how to put a picture and a story together. I'll write a joke, but then he knows where to put everything and what to do, and is very savvy and
also
indispensable.
He puts up with us sort of arriving on set going, we didn't really see that would be the color of the... he puts up with that crap and, talks us around or changes things, and, he's a very generous, collaborator.